In the past couple years, we've gotten some awesome Genesis games being made. These are brand new games coming out, not just reproductions or not reprints of some older games, but I'm talking actual brand new games being developed, being created for the Sega Genesis, for the Sega Mega Drive, and being released both here in the US as well as internationally. Today I have some exciting news. A Kickstarter recently launched for a new game. And so, over these past couple years, we've gotten things like Papyrum's going to be coming out soon with an awesome arcade stick. We've got Pure Solar. We've got YM 2017, which was basically a music album on a cartridge with the visualizer and everything right on the cartridge. It was really neat. We got Coffee Crisis recently came out. Tanglewood is about to be released. Those were Coffee Crisis and Tanglewood were both really successful Kickstarters last year. Well, now what we have is we have a new game coming out, and it is called XenoCrisis. And in this video, I'm going to be covering their Kickstarter and kind of just talking about the game and my thoughts on it. So this is it. This is the XenoCrisis Kickstarter page. And so this was put together by Bitmap Bureau. They're a group of indie developers. And so they've built PC games, Switch games, PS4, Xbox One, a bunch of other games. But this is really their first Sega Genesis game. And this will be a physical release as well as a digital release. And so we'll just be taking a look here. So we've got on their Kickstarter page, first thing I want to mention is they got fully funded in the first 40 hours of their Kickstarter. So at the time of this recording, there is still 23 days left to go. And their original budget was $26,000 US dollars, and so far they've raised over $43,000, which is amazing. And so I'm going to be going over a couple of the things that have happened since that initial 48 hours and now. So basically, the game is a top-down shooter. If you go to their Kickstarter page, you can kind of see some gameplay. Here, I'll show you a
Bitmap
little
Bureau
bit
presents
here.
ISIS.
And so here you can kind of see it's similar to like a Contra, similar to kind of like a Gunstar Heroes, but not as fast paced as those, but it's still very cool. I'm really excited about this game. And so there's not a whole lot here yet, but essentially there are different tiers. You can just get the ROM file if you want. You can get a physical cart release. You can get a physical cart release with a case and a manual. Or you can also get, what they have now is, when it first came out, first 100 people that got a collector's tier got a collector's edition. That is all sold out. They've now replaced that with a Kickstarter tier. So you'll be able to get a Kickstarter edition. You actually get your name put in the game as one of the victims, so that's very cool. But I'll go ahead and scroll down through here, and here you can see they took their inspiration from Smash TV, Contra, Mercs, Granada, Alien Syndrome, Zombies, Ate My Neighbors, Chaos Engine, and Shock Troopers. And so if we go ahead and we'll scroll down, so here are the tiers, and they are a UK-based company. So these are the pledge amounts, obviously, are not in US dollars. We start off with the, basically just the supporter tier. And then they have the downloadable ROM tier. And then there's a Dreamcast one. I'm going to get into this in a minute. This is really exciting. The Genesis cartridge only. The cartridge boxed with a manual. Then there's the Kickstarter edition. This is the one I was referring to a couple minutes ago. There's also a custom XenoCrisis Mega Drive edition, where you actually get a customized Sega Mega Drive system. So it's pretty neat. Plus you get the collector's edition box set. Right now, this is the only way to get the collector's box set, because the collector's edition did sell out. But it is quite pricey. It's $1,300, but you do get a customized system as well as the box set and the original soundtrack download. If you scroll through their Kickstarter page, you'll see the different types of enemies that there are, the different types of weapons, and then as well as the different types of upgrades that you can get, like health restoration, different power-ups, things like that. And then it goes into talk about the development of the game, and as well as the developers of the game. And if we scroll back up to the top here, you can see the production. This is what they test with, and here's what the cartridge could possibly look like. And they are doing a Japanese, European, and a US version. So there will be a Genesis version that'll have a matching Genesis box. And here you can see the Genesis cartridge. And then here you see the Japanese. And again, it's placeholder artwork. The artwork's not finalized. Here's the Genesis spine, as well as the Mega Drive. And then that's the Japanese one. And then the collector's edition also came with a t-shirt. Obviously, those are all sold out now, as well as the dog tags. And here is the Dreamcast version, which is really exciting. So I'm going to jump into some of their stretch goals. So what happened was they funded so quickly that they wanted to give back. So they came up with 2 stretch goals, which have both been met already. And so the first stretch goal was 2-player co-op. So this is really exciting. There's not many co-op games on the Genesis. The first one that comes to mind is Zero Tolerance. But the co-op for that required 2 systems. And so this one is, obviously you have Streets of Rage, those types of games, beat 'em ups that you play together. But this game is going to have 2-player co-op in it, which is really exciting. And you'll be able to pick your character, so you can either be male or female whenever you start the game. And so when you do co-op, you have both players there. And then they also met their second stretch goal, which was to port it to the Sega Dreamcast, which is awesome. So they're going to be releasing a Dreamcast version of this game as well. And so their next stretch goal is new area boss and translations. They want to translate it into every language. Here's the full language list. That's definitely a daunting task, but really excited if they add some new areas and a new boss to the game. That will be awesome. And so right now they're getting pretty close to that mark. And so one thing I do want to mention, they do have obviously an updates page, as with any Kickstarter, where they talk about how they got funded, within the first 40 hours, etc., as well as some frequently asked questions. But one important thing, it's kind of hard to find unless you really drill through all 79 comments and talk to the developers themselves, is if you buy any of these Genesis ones, whether it's the cartridge only, boxed with manual, or the Kickstarter edition, if you add in $20, you can get the Dreamcast version included. So, for instance, if you're doing the Kickstarter one, and you want the Dreamcast version, this comes with the boxed Genesis version. If you want the Dreamcast version, you just add $20, so it becomes £95. And then that becomes your purchase. You will get the Kickstarter boxed edition. You'll get a hostage named after you. You'll get the stickers, the postcards, the pin, the original soundtrack digital download, and you will also get a boxed version of the Dreamcast version. And it's going to use the boxes they use in Europe. So they're a little bit thicker. They're a little bit different than our typical boxes. But they'll align with those boxes for the Dreamcast release. But really excited about this project. just wanted to get this information out there for everybody who might be interested in this. Most of these new games that are made, they're Kickstarter only, and typically once they sell out, there's no additional pre-orders. And so there's still 23 days left in this project. So if you like what you see, definitely recommend checking it out. But drop me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you plan on picking up one of these. If so, what version are you looking at? Personally, I'm going with the Kickstarter version as well as the Dreamcast release. So really excited to play this game. But drop me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. And thanks for watching.